98 SeaSwirl Fish&Ski 18-footer. Get her ready for some spring boat cruising. We're gonna get these batteries installed. This is it. This is the boat. Got the Evinrude trolling motor up here. Got your live well, your tilt access, the little accessory port, power for the trolling motor there too. Plug back in there. You got your spot for your light. So I got a light, green and red, that'll go in there. Nice big compartment right here. Anchor and fender buoys. And then this is another bait hold with live well and drain. Got my son's life jacket in there now. Got the area right there to put a seat on a post. I kept these in the house over the winter, and I put a trickle charge on them every few weeks just to check and make sure that they weren't gonna, you know, lose all their voltage or whatever and stay dead. And they're only 2 years old, so they should be good for a couple more seasons at least. Hopefully, figuratively. So we're gonna put them batteries down in there. Got 2 bilge pumps down in there as well.
Are you still recording?
And a pump for the live well that goes down and out the port on the bottom of the boat. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Feeder terminal is going to receive the power to the engine first. So we're going to put him right up through here. Anchor it on that post there. Hold it in place. Now it's the 2 house panels. If I can get them on here. Just mustard dystrophy, my hands don't work like they should. So now we got 2 house power wires and an engine power wire. And we got the fusible link for the ignition. Bring that up through. Boom. Got those all on there. Get this nut on the post. And we can kind of bend them over and pretty it up a little bit so it's not so scattered across that opening. There we've got the feeder post, and it's got 2 power wires from the panels up front and a power wire for the ignition up front. Then we have the power wire that goes out to the outboard Evinrude engine back there. And tighten that down, and these other 2 posts are going to be battery 1 and battery 2. All right, now that we got those on there, power wire, another power wire. We're going to bring both of these in to those battery terminals and then bring them out to each battery. Get that guy on there. Throw a nut on him. Take this nut off this post. Oh, don't want to lose that down in the lose that down in the hall. Maybe having to get the magnet wand out. Bring this guy up in there. And that'll be to go to battery 2. Battery 2, battery 1, and then this is what each one of those will be switched to be able to turn them on and off. So theoretically, the way you want it to work, in today's age, you would have like an automatic charge regulator or automatic charge relay and an extra post on your switch, but this is a boat from '98. So it'd be much like something that somebody's working on, fixing up, another John boat, or kind of running your own system, something new. It's cheaper without that automatic charge relay. It's really just a convenience. So if you're say you're out on the water and you're using your trolling motor quite a bit, you've been fishing for a while and it's getting kind of low on that deep cycle battery, you can fire your boat up, switch your switch to both, and as you drive the lake, you'll be then charging both batteries off of the charge regulator that's inside the engine. I don't think it's exactly like an alternator, but it's something close to that. But, so there's the backside of your switch. If you got a 3-prong switch, 2 battery system, 2 battery, 1 engine, that's what we're working with here. All right, so now that we got all those on there, we're gonna start worrying about some of these grounds. I have quite a bit of grounds, so I kind of want to divvy them up for each battery, just because of the space of terminal connection. It doesn't matter which ground I put these on, because it should be a fluid ground through the whole system. So the first ground we're actually going to connect is this massive one. We're going to bring it up to both of the batteries to bridge the grounds between the both of them. We're going to hook this massive ground to the house battery, along with a handful of these other grounds, just to divvy up where they're being mounted to. That's enough for that one. Put a nut on it. All right, we got all of our grounds on. The last grounds and powers to deal with is the onboard charger. So we've got an onboard charger. If you bring your boat in and your batteries are still kind of low, you can just plug a normal extension cord right in there. And so these will go, one for the house battery and one for the starter battery. And we're just going to put them on, positives and negatives, and that'll be the last step. All right, one more thing to hook up. Actually, I do have to put, I'm going to put these on my deep cycle. These are for the trolling motor. So this is the ground and the power with the forward and reverse regulators on the trolling motor. So hook this to the power, this to the ground of the house battery, and we should be good. All right, so here is the final deal, what we're working with. I am going to mount this so it's not dangling. But there's your switch, and the wiring goes out. I've hooked them up here and hooked them up here. Hooked them all up there with the trolling motor to the deep cycle. We're going to go ahead and take the cover off here, undo the latches, take this cover off, and we'll be able to get to the spark plugs that I have, covered in fogging oil and everything last season to preserve it all. So I'm gonna open them up, take a look at them, probably keep the old plugs in, fire it up that way the first time, and then I'm gonna put new plugs in it after I've kind of pounded some of the gunk out of it. So here we are. I'm gonna make sure that these are all pressed on nice and tight, and it has the old plugs in it still. I always put the old plugs in with all that fogging oil. Run it with good new plugs each season. All right, we got the water flowing now. Make sure that the battery switch is on both. And should hear a beep. There's a beep. Good. It's first try. All right, to be expected. And these old plugs might not get it going. I might even have to give it a little gas for these old plugs to get it going. But I want that smoke to get out of that engine is what the main deal is we're going after right now. Time to fire her up. Let's hear this puppy fire up for the first time this season. That's what it's supposed to do. First try. Always want to make sure. That's good. I am pleased. So you can clearly see the difference that just replacing them plugs makes. Not a problem. Full gas.